Joined by our special correspondent. Welcome to the team, Caitlin Clark. Yes.
First time in MSG for a Knicks game, so it's pretty cool.
I know, it's our first Knicks game, first time feeling the atmosphere. We got to get you to play on this court one day.
We have to talk to Adam about that.
Can we make it mellow? Honestly, if there's someone
Even if it's a preseason game, we got to get it done. I don't think the Liberty will want to move a game over here, but we'll play anybody. It'll be fun.
Yeah. How could you describe maybe the atmosphere your first time in it?
Well, I think as a player, like, this is kind of when you feel the atmosphere the most, is when you're out on the court warming up. So, I mean, there's just a different type of buzz. And obviously when LeBron comes to town, it's probably really different. But, you know, Knicks fans are crazy, and I love it. I love people that are passionate about basketball, so it's pretty incredible.
Reggie Miller just symbolically handed over the spotlight to Caitlin Clark during a live broadcast. And that exchange instantly set social media buzzing. The Pacers icon openly stated he now ranks as Indiana's third greatest marksman, trailing Clark and Tyrese Halliburton. This wasn't a throwaway remark or light praise. It was a Hall of Fame figure openly admitting his era has ended. The admiration was undeniable. When someone of Miller's stature claims he's no longer the top shooter in his own home state, does that reflect modesty or simple reality? Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark officially launched her NBC analyst journey during the Lakers-Knicks matchup at Madison Square Garden, sharing the desk with NBA greats Reggie Miller and Carmelo Anthony, while Maria Taylor anchored the show. An enormous stage for a debut appearance. Then Miller elevated the moment further by effectively declaring her the greatest shooting talent Indiana has ever created.
Listen, there's a new shooter from Indiana. I'm the third best shooter in the state of Indiana now. Okay. It goes Caitlin, Tyrese, and now myself.
We'll have to get Tyrese's opinion on that. I'm not sure Tyrese would agree.
Right here, she's taking over for me right now, so thank you.
Let's clearly outline what actually unfolded, because this moment deserves proper context. Reggie Miller, a Hall of Fame legend, five-time All-Star, former NBA career leader in three-pointers, and the same player who haunted the Knicks for an entire era, looked directly at Caitlin Clark on live television and announced that a new shooter from Indiana has arrived, placing himself as only the third best shooter from the state behind Clark and Tyrese Halliburton, openly ranking himself below a WNBA star and an active NBA guard, which goes far beyond routine praise and instead represents a genuine passing of the torch moment broadcast nationally during Caitlin's very first analyst appearance, something that simply cannot be manufactured. And to her credit, she responded flawlessly by smiling and suggesting she would need Tyrese's opinion while noting he might disagree. The ideal reaction that accepted the compliment with poise while subtly redirecting attention without arguing or performing. Exaggerated modesty, a clear example of strong media instincts.
When I saw Caitlin in the green room, she's like, I lost the first game. I was like, girl, you won the series, though. You won the series.
She's killer's kill.
Could you have beat her?
Yeah. But
behind the basket in the corner?
For sure.
Okay.
We're going to get that.
Yeah.
We're going to get that.
That's what we're going to get?
Yeah, we're going to
She's literally over there smirking in the corner.
She's like, yeah.
Right there.
But that brings me to this, right? Watching that, I would love to see that in the All-Star game.
Done. Let's do it. We'll bring it.
Yeah, for sure.
Either way it goes, coming up next, you're going to see Caitlin Clark. Obviously, she's pulled up to the desk, so she's coming up next. You guys have seen Caitlin play. She's a one-of-ones, but is there like a comparison of someone either you played with or you guys watching the game right now that reminds you of the young lady to your right?
I like Peyton Pritchard from Boston, the way he's able to handle the basketball. He makes big shots when the shot clock's running down, a lot like this young lady right here. Isn't afraid of the big moment and is a champion like she's.
And the reason this statement carries such weight is because it did not come from a random player offering surface-level respect toward women's basketball, but from arguably the greatest shooter in Pacers history, a man whose entire legacy rests on elite perimeter shooting, publicly stating that Caitlin Clark surpasses him in that very skill, which is remarkable considering Miller spent 18 seasons in the NBA exclusively with Indiana, delivered countless clutch shots, scored 8 points in 9 seconds, dropped 25 points in a single fourth quarter against New York, stood as one of the most feared shooters the game has ever seen, and is now saying Caitlin is better at shooting than he ever was, a statement that truly needs to sink in.
Okay, I'm just curious now, 2 years into the professional career, year 3, the evolution of Caitlin Clark's game is what?
It's funny because I was just looking back at some old videos from when I was at Iowa, and like I can just tell how much my body's changed, but I think in a good way. Like you have to be stronger. It's a much more physical league. So I think that, and then obviously I only appeared in 13 games last year. So more than anything, I'm just itching to get back out on the court and kind of feel like myself again. And I've been putting in a lot of hard work, and I got USA basketball coming up, so looking forward to that too.
Yeah, I was happy to see you. Yes,
yes, sir, Reg knows.
You get a couple Indiana people together, and then you can't,
they understood what was happening to me.
Right. They understood who to bring to the.
Is that literally true? Probably not if we measure it purely by competition. Reggie Miller faced NBA defenses for nearly 20 years, while Caitlin Clark is competing in the WNBA, where the level of opposition differs. But the fact that Miller openly says it demonstrates the immense respect she has earned. This isn't obligatory praise. It's him voluntarily placing her above himself in Indiana's shooting hierarchy. The timing couldn't be better. It's her first broadcast, nerves are likely present, and an analyst sitting next to her immediately affirms her as the top shooter from their state, providing a confidence boost that makes the rest of the show smoother. What adds nuance is that Miller didn't just elevate Clark. He included Tyrese Halliburton, acknowledging that both Clark and Tyrese surpass him, which smartly honors the current Pacer star while still giving Clark the top spot, maintaining a respectful hierarchy that highlights who Miller sees as number one. Their friendship adds another layer. Both led basketball programs in Indiana, support each other's games, and clearly share mutual respect. And by mentioning Tyrese in this context, Miller recognizes that dynamic while positioning both as the present faces of Indiana basketball. Social media absolutely erupted after this moment, with fans praising Reggie for his humility in passing the torch, flooding Twitter with comments like, "Humble, dude," because there's no doubt Reggie is Indiana's best shooter ever, and he's a true class act, and people respect when legends show humility instead of clinging to past glory. Of course, some pushed back, saying things like, "I'll take Reggie over CC and Tyrese," which is understandable from a pure resume perspective. Miller's NBA career far surpasses anything Caitlin or Tyrese have achieved so far, but that misses the point. Reggie wasn't making a historical ranking. He was welcoming Caitlin into broadcasting while recognizing her current dominance in Indiana basketball. The playful side of it notes that Miller is 60 and hasn't played competitive ball in 2 decades. So yes, Caitlin is probably the better shooter today, but his point was about legacy and current impact in Indiana, not a hypothetical shooting contest. The moment's impact was amplified by the setting, Madison Square Garden during a Lakers-Knicks game, the very arena where Miller created some of his most legendary moments tormenting the Knicks. Now he's back at Madison Square Garden, passing the torch to the next generation of Indiana basketball stars, and there's a poetic symmetry in that location for such a moment. Caitlin's ease in joking about getting Tyrese's opinion demonstrates she already understands the mechanics of broadcasting. You don't just accept praise and move on. You spark conversation, involve others, and maintain energy. She's clearly a natural, which makes sense given the thousands of interviews she's handled over the years. NBC has to be thrilled with how it unfolded. They bring Caitlin on for her first broadcast, and within minutes, a viral moment happens with Reggie Miller publicly naming her Indiana's best shooter. Exactly the kind of content that drives social engagement and amplifies interest in the show, free publicity money can't buy. For Caitlin, having a Hall of Famer like Miller in her corner is enormous for her broadcasting trajectory. It's one thing for media commentators to praise her, but quite another when NBA legends validate her talent live on air. The difference between Reggie Miller's approach to Caitlin and certain WNBA veterans' behavior is striking. A Hall of Famer from another circuit demonstrating full admiration and encouragement, while peers inside her own league have attempted to minimize achievements. This highlights who feels confident in their legacy and who does not. Miller's statement about her succeeding him carries real significance. Not merely applauding shooting skills, but designating her as his replacement as Indiana's basketball representative. A tremendous privilege and duty rarely offered publicly. The interaction lasted only half a minute, yet will circulate and spark conversation for weeks, showing the impact of influential voices delivering the right message at precise moments. He could have simply remarked, "Caitlin's talented," and moved forward, but instead crafted a viral instant that will endure, intentionally welcoming her and elevating her presence instead of limiting attention to the Lakers-Knicks matchup. That's classic veteran broadcaster conduct, putting colleagues at ease while producing compelling television. Caitlyn's expression when Miller spoke was completely genuine, revealing she hadn't anticipated such enthusiastic praise, likely expecting a standard "Welcome to the broadcast" remark, not a declaration as Indiana's top shooter ever. Her response was flawless because it felt authentic. Audience reactions, including comments like, "Ah, this was so sweet. Love Indy sports. CC, you are an incredible person," demonstrate the moment resonated beyond basketball circles, highlighting appreciation for respect and support shared across generations and leagues. In a sports environment often dominated by tension and controversy, this wholesome interaction stands out. The coverage across platforms, Clutch Points, Yahoo Sports, NBA Twitter, YouTube clips, illustrates the widespread recognition of its significance. This isn't just WNBA or Fever fan chatter. Mainstream basketball media acknowledged an important broadcast moment. For NBC's Basketball Night in America, creating viral engagement during Caitlyn's debut validates the decision to feature her and builds anticipation for her next appearance on March 29th in Oklahoma City, ensuring audiences tune in to witness more memorable interactions. Reggie Miller's reputation rests on being one of history's premier shooters and among the NBA's sharpest trash talkers, yet he leveraged that prominence to elevate Caitlin Clark rather than safeguard his own legacy, demonstrating genuine character. Many retired athletes feel threatened when emerging talent draws comparisons, but Miller actively embraces the parallel. The Indiana basketball link between him and Clark is remarkable, both icons in the same state, recognized for precise shooting, adored by local fans. By acknowledging that bond and symbolically transferring the torch, he forges a lineage benefiting both parties. His legacy intertwines with hers, while she gains validation from one of Indiana's all-time greats. This moment proves Clark has earned recognition from those who truly understand the sport. Criticism from envious veterans or random social media voices is easy to dismiss, yet praise from Miller, a proven shooter and basketball legend, carries undeniable weight. When he declares, "You're the best," it resonates. The humility displayed amplifies the impact. He could have phrased it more neutrally, yet chose a statement that honors her accomplishments and signals respect. And that could have served as a polite compliment. Yet Miller went further, deliberately placing himself beneath Clark, a far bolder declaration few icons would attempt. For younger audiences observing, the interaction delivers a valuable lesson about honoring rising talent. Reggie isn't intimidated by her accomplishments nor attempting to diminish them, but instead celebrates and acknowledges that she is elevating Indiana basketball to unprecedented levels. The on-air chemistry enhanced the moment. Maria Taylor guiding dialogue, Carmelo Anthony grinning in the background, and Miller exchanging remarks with Clark, all felt spontaneous and lively, the kind of energy that makes coverage engaging beyond mere game commentary. NBC is cultivating something exceptional with this Basketball Night in America ensemble. Blending former NBA stars with active WNBA players generates conversations and dynamics rarely seen on conventional broadcasts. Miller's declaration exemplifies this perfectly. He publicly endorsed Clark as Indiana's premier shooter, creating a moment of genuine significance. When legends pass the torch so openly, it resonates deeply, inspiring admiration across generations.